Yo, what's going on guys, Dignal here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you the effect that you've just seen on screen. This is the first tutorial on YouTube that covers this effect, so I'm very excited to bring this to you guys. Before we get into the video, you're going to need to download the 4 links in the description. There's going to be an overlay down there, there's going to be 2 sound effects, and there's also going to be a preset. So once you've injected the preset, that's a bit weird to say, but yeah, once you've injected the preset, just go ahead and follow what I'm doing right now. So go to where the shot connects with the character, which is going to be right here. Make a marker and then go back 30 frames, which in my case is going to be to 0057, and go ahead and split the track, click on the FX tool and apply the preset that is in the description. I don't actually have the same preset as you guys, so I need to remove all of these effects before I actually get started. Should not take too long whatsoever. For you, there's obviously just going to be the Twixtor Pro. However, for me, I do have a couple more effects here. I won't even bother blurring them out, so if you want to go through that frame by frame and get my presets, you're more than welcome. So yeah, once you've done that, just going to pre-render it by holding right mouse button and dragging over the clip, and then pressing Shift and F and Shift and B, just to make sure that it's all running smoothly. I'm gonna go ahead and mute the audio for you guys so that it actually works fine and that you don't get ear raped. But yeah, that looks pretty good. So what you're gonna want to do now is go to the very first keyframe, or the very first frame rather. Go 6 frames in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Zoom in slightly, and then tilt it to the right. Zoom in ever so slightly, just like that, and then we can drag it up a bit. And make sure you set this to slow right there. Set the first keyframe to slow by right clicking and then pressing on slow. And we can see how this looks. And yeah, looks good. And now what you're going to want to do is just go here to the keyframe. Make a keyframe right there on the marker and set it to restore. And go 1, 2, 3 keyframes out. Hold control and drag that keyframe out. That didn't really work there for some reason, so I'm just gonna go ahead and control C it. Go 3 frames back, do that, and then make it a fast fade at the end here. And once you're done, it should look something like that. So yeah, now once you've done that, just go ahead and insert a video track by holding Control Shift Q or right clicking on this empty area down here. Hold Control, drag this track up, and then click on the top one, press U, and then delete the bottom audio. Go ahead and fade it in by 5 frames, just like that, and splitting it on the marker right there, and then fading it out by 3 frames. So right, just like that. And now you're gonna want to go to the cropping tool, enable masking. And just here, just make a tall, thin rectangle on top of the player, and just make sure to like tilt it sort of like that. It obviously doesn't have to be amazing. However, yeah, okay. So just go like 5 frames out of the end here, and just do something big, like just like that. I think. I'm not too sure really. And yeah, in order to actually gain a reference point, you're going to want to need to either add a blur to the bottom track, which I'm going to do. And I'm also going to go ahead and add a drop shadow to the top track, as well as chromatic aberration, which is in the universe plugin. So once I've done all of that, it should be pretty apparent how the effect actually looks. And that looks fine. If I just go ahead and pre-render it, I think that looks very good. We're gonna keyframe the blur later, so that won't be an issue. Yep, that looks very good, very good. And yeah, let's go ahead and keyframe the blur now. I guess we can go ahead and make the blur amount 0,02 before we get started. Keyframe it, go 5 frames in when the fade out ends, then just set the first keyframe to 0, and then go 3 frames out here, make a keyframe, and then go to the very last one and set it to 0. And if we do like that, there obviously won't be any full-on blur once the effect is done here. Just like that. Alright, now we're going to add the color to this. So if you have magic bullet looks, you can just go ahead and download the preset that's going to be in the description for this. I'm also going to be linking a video on how to import magic bullet looks presets, unless you don't know, if you don't know how to do that rather. If you don't have this plugin, just download it, or you can just play around with duotone or tritone or whatever. It's just a sort of bluish effect that I'm adding to make it look cool, just like this. It's gonna be very hard to replicate without magic bullet looks, but it is what it is, quite frankly. And yeah, what we're actually gonna want to do now is keyframe it in. So we go to the top track right here, just press animate and make a keyframe there, and then go to the very first one, and we can just go ahead and click on edit, and we can just go ahead and drag that down to like something like this, and just try and make sure that it looks decent. Alright, now once you've gone ahead and done that, we're gonna actually want to keyframe it out. So just go to the very last keyframe right here, click on animate, and go one frame back, make a keyframe, and then go 1 frame forward, and click on edit, and then just disable all of these. Now obviously if you're using duotone or whatever, this won't work, but you know, it is what it is. And yeah, let's go ahead and pre-render it one more time just to sort of see how it's doing. I believe that is working out quite well. Now we can go ahead and add the black bars right here, or we can go ahead and we can add the sound effects actually. So the first thing I got is actually the wind howling sound effect right here. As you can see, or as you can hear rather. Let's just go ahead and do that, and we can go ahead and just fade it in right here. It's very important that you fade it in, and make sure that you get it to fade out as well. So just fade it out just like that, and you can just go ahead and activate it slightly further in, and we can just go ahead and turn down the audio right there. And we're also going to want to add our bass swoosh, which is going to be right here, and we're going to want to apply this so that the big blob right there is just at the end, just like that, and we should be good to go. And yeah, that looks fine and dandy right there. Now we can go ahead and apply the overlay, or just drag it in rather. Delete the audio track and just drag this on top of everything else. Set this to add, and just drag it on top of everything, and make sure to fade it out by the same amount that the diagonal thing was faded out by, just like that. And just add some velocity and drag it up to a couple 100%, just like that. And let's see how this looks. It's taking longer and longer to actually pre-render now, which is good. It should do something like this. Obviously you won't hear the whoosh this much. There's going to be a song and there's going to be audio in the background, but that's not really relevant to this tutorial, which is why I'm only having you guys listen to the sound effects. As you can see, now we can go ahead and actually apply the black bars. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to be using generated media for this. You can usually just use the cropping tool to add black bars. However, I have stretch clips, and when you have stretch clips, it bugs sometimes, and I'm just not quite sure how to fix it myself. So yeah, I'm just going to be using this method. So just go to masking, obviously just make like 2 random things and just drag it down and set it to like the edge here. And then just go 5 frames in, maybe. Yeah, go 5 frames in, right there, and just drag it out so that it goes to this one point right here on both of them. This grid system is very helpful when it comes to this. And obviously on the last one is just to copy the fade out as well. Just make a keyframe there, then go here, and then just drag them out by roughly the same amount. If the more equal they are, the smoother the outro and the intro transition of them will be. And now we can go ahead and see how it looks. Ooh, I just had to crack my knuckles there. I think this looks pretty good in my opinion. Yep, okay, I think that looks pretty good. Now we can move on to the effects after the kill. Now, obviously, for this, you can just add your own shake, you can add your own whatever. Unfortunately, you cannot split this and add your own, so you're going to want to have to add them manually until you've actually made a preset for it. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and add some basic tilt, I guess. I mean, it doesn't really matter. but I'll just go ahead and do something like that. And we can just go ahead and change the phase so that it just does something like that, I guess. We can just go ahead and check how this looks. Just like that, and we can go ahead and fade it out like here, and we can increase the frequency to like 8, I guess. We can go ahead and pre-render it again. I'm just going off on a limb here. I don't really know what's like going on here. But yeah, I've shown you guys these. If you don't want to stick around anymore, that's fine. I'm just adding these extra effects here at the end just for just some extra value, some extra content, I guess you could call it. But yeah, let's go ahead and drag out the amplitude for a bit longer, probably until the end of the clip. So yeah, let's go ahead and check here. Looks good. We can drag the frequency down maybe 4, and let's check how that looks. Yep, looks about right, and we can change the phase once again so that it actually looks decent. And now what the what Zqoh does, which is the guy I'm copying, obviously he's in the title, he had some HSL adjust right here. Now obviously he's on After Effects, so it won't be named this. However, just fucking drag the saturation up to 2 and go 1 frame back and set it down back to 1, and just delete this first keyframe right here, and just like set it to 0 somewhere in the middle, like here. I mean, it won't let me double click, but set it down to normal there, and just add some blur as well. Just use as blur or s blur, doesn't really matter. Use 0.17 because it usually looks good. Go ahead and keyframe it as well. Just do that, and then 1 frame back, set it to 0, and then delete the first frame. Just like that, and make sure to keyframe the blur so that it ends a bit earlier than the saturation, which usually looks good. And yeah, let's go ahead and see how this all looks right now. Alright, that looks pretty fine if you ask me. You can just add some glow, I don't know. I'm just getting creative here, to be honest with you guys. Just increase the threshold, I guess, increase the brightness maybe. Just like that, and just follow the same pattern that I've been using. Set brightness to 0 there. And just go ahead and hold control on that one. And set it to 0 here. And now we can go ahead and actually pre-render the whole clip to see how this looks like. And yeah, just remember that all download links are in the description, as well as the project file to this if you're curious about that. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like down below. Also make sure to comment, subscribe, give me suggestions on what effect I should cover next. And hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you guys in a couple days, and peace.